evening and welcome to the news at 7:30. Making the headlines tonight, Governor Obiano states commitment to recognizing and honoring the Anambra who distinguished themselves in various fields. Archbishop Okeke donates relief materials to people affected by flood in Onitsha. People count losses as another tanker explodes in Lagos. Death toll rises in Indonesia's earthquake. My name is Chidimma Oranwe. And now the detail of the news. Governor Willie Obiano says the Volume 2 of Anambra Compendium will be published before the end of his second term. Governor Obiano stated this at the official unveiling of Anambra Compendium held in Awka. Correspondent Chibu Zokoye attended the event and now reports.
The event brought together the who is who in Anambra State in various fields of endeavor, friends and well-wishers of the Anambra, as well as some members of the international community. Speaking during the event, Governor Willie Obiano, who described the 800-page book that recognized 278 in the Anambra who have excelled in their chosen professions all over the world, as a masterpiece, said that the Volume 2 of the compendium will capture great Anambra people who have distinguished themselves in their various fields of endeavors, but we are not captured in the current compendium. The governor said that the Anambra have continually shown the light in many aspects of life, as God richly endowed the people of the state with rich human and material resources, citing Dr. Philip Emeagwali from Onitsha, late Michael Iwenetansi from Aguleri, Mr. Emmanuel Okala, who he described as one of the iconic goalkeepers in Nigeria, as few examples of Ndi Anambra that have made the state, Ndibu and Nigeria proud. Governor Obiano assured that his administration will not renege in putting modalities that will boost socio-economic development of the state in place in order to keep developing the intellectual ingenuity of every Anambra.
Today is a very important day in the history of our great state, and it coincides with the 58th anniversary of celebrating Nigeria as a nation. And of course, our 27th anniversary was celebrated a while ago. So it's an important day. I really would like to commend the great strides we've all attained. Anambra, like the previous speakers have said, we are very richly endowed. We are the light of the nation. Anambra has produced the first president of Nigeria. 2 times, we have also produced Senate President 2 times. We produced Senate President 2 times. And the House of Reps, Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives 2 times.
The book reviewer, Professor Elochuhu Amuchazi, said that he is satisfied with the book, as one is thrilled by the findings of the researcher, describing the coverage of the book as spectacular, but said that there is still room for improvement in the subsequent editions.
Depth and coverage are spectacular, the presentation is unique, and the outlay is extremely interesting. It is a magnum opus, and I believe has made all of us tall and proud.
The publisher and editor-in-chief of the book, Mr. Emeko Konkwo, explained that the compendium is a great work of art that challenged the depth of intellectual ingenuity and revealed that the book presents the comprehensive documentation of Anambra State, its indefatigable people, rich cultural heritage, beautiful environments, and its rich religious and educational excellence pursuit.
I urge the government, captains of industry, friends of Anambra, and all seated here to invest in placing this great book of work, this great book in all the schools and public libraries in Anambra, the entire Southeast, and Nigeria. Public institutions, embassies, and schools of African studies all over the world.
A minute silence was observed for late Mr. Randy Chema, who was the creative director of photography on the Anambra Compendium project before his death on 11th August 2018. In Awka, it's been Chibu Zokoye for ABS News.
The capital city of Awka yesterday witnessed an influx of members of the public, government officials, the clergy, teachers and students who were on ground to celebrate this year's Independence Day anniversary. Correspondent Emmanuel Chibata has reports.
The anniversary, which took place at Dr. Alex Ekweme Square, Awka, got to its climax with march past by members of Nigerian police and school children pledging their allegiance to the country, while cultural display, dance and calisthenics added glamour to the event. Bearing his mind on the achievements of the country in the past 58 years, the secretary to the state government, Professor Solo Chukwulobelu, noted that the country has recorded lots of major achievements, but noted that she can do much better using her enormous resources to foster development and touch the lives of its citizens. While appreciating God for a successful Independence Day celebration, Professor Chukwulobelu said that it is only unity and oneness that can move the country forward.
People say that Nigeria is still working in progress. Come a long way. Trees enormously down because of resources. So we thank God for
In his reaction, Chief of Staff to the state government, Mr. Primus Odele, opined that in order to promote more peaceful existence in the country, there should be unity of purpose by all parts of the country to actualize a great nation.
And you find out that the Southeast that has actually expressed this slogan that Nigeria is we've always mentioned our attempt that though trying to turn many and the people from the Southeast are able to prove that
St. Augustine Secondary School.
For the Commissioner for Works, Engineer Master Elifejiofor, Nigerians need prayers and encourage leaders of the country to use the natural resources to restructure and foster robust development for the country.
This good leadership can start from somewhere. 2019 is what I'm asking well. We need. The very moment we get good people into the position of leadership, we are going to do that.
Meanwhile, after the march past showcased at the celebration by students from various schools of the state, Girls Secondary School Awka took the overall best. In Awka, I am Emmanuel Chibata reporting for ABS News.
About 5,000 people affected by the rampaging flood in Onitsha North, Ayamelum, Anambra East and West have received succor from the Archbishop of Onitsha, Mr. Reverend Valerian Okeke. We heard details from our studio.
The Archbishop donated bags of rice to each of the 6 holding centers, comprising Bishop Crowther Primary School Onitsha, Father Joseph Memorial Secondary School Aguleri, Umwe Regional Hospital, Unity Primary School Umuoba Anam, Community Primary School Ebapo, and the Health Center Ifitogwari, and promised that he will pay school fees for children of the affected for 2 years, as well as cater for the salaries of all the teachers posted to the affected areas, just like he did in 2012. Archbishop Okeke, represented by the director, JDPC, Reverend Father Edwin Udoye, also informed the affected persons, especially those in Obaru Council area, that more largesse is on the way, as the church will not relent in its duties to ensure better life for the needy.
Bishop
Receiving the donation, the Transition Committee Chairman for Anambra West Local Government Council, Sir Sylvester Okafo, and his Onitsha North counterpart, Mr. Anambra, thanked the Archbishop for the gesture, noting that the church has never reneged in its support to government and the people. The persons staying at holding centers who were visibly elated for the gift thanked the Archbishop and the state government for taking good care of them at this difficult time.
The government in Anambra enabled
I never think I get you go. How about why? That's why we club like I broke a military. I know you have an idea. I can I also cook a military. You know, when you say whatever. You know, whatever the kind of do you whatever.
No fewer than 17 persons from Awa and the neighboring communities in Orumba North Local Government Area were over the weekend empowered by Chief Israel Ezue Foundation under its Youth Empowerment Program during the year's Otute Awanibo Festival of the community. During the event, which took place at the compound of the traditional Prime Minister of the community, Chief Ezue, he is also the founder of the foundation. 6 persons supplied him with brand new shuttle bus each, 4 with Saharan bus each, 6 with tricycle each, and 1 with tipper truck, and 1 with a golf car. Correspondent Emmanuel Konko West at the event and now reports.
Speaking at the event, the benefactor, Chief Ezue, said that the gesture was one of the means through which he supports and fights against unemployment amongst youths and contributes his quota to the growth and development of the community and society at large. He charged the beneficiaries, who are mostly youths, to utilize the opportunity given to them to become self-reliant instead of whiling away time waiting for non-existing white-collar job. Chief Ezue used the opportunity to call on the state government to come to their aid in the construction of the major road that links the community with other communities in the area and neighboring states, pledging their continuous loyalty to the present administration. Blessing the empowerment materials, the Auxiliary Bishop of Oka Catholic Diocese, Most Reverend Jonas Benson Okoye, commended the philanthropic disposition of Chief Ezue and urged other affluent individuals to emulate him by using their wealth to help the poor and needy in the society in order to receive God's blessings attached to act of giving.
To succeed in life, you must be diligent and hardworking. Grateful success, other there by chance, and you don't cut corners to be successful. Now, when you get any true in the area, now from Batarana, let me see where you are.
Some of the beneficiaries who previously earned a living through menial jobs, including Messrs. Ekene Ume, Alexander Guongu, Ruben Wajagu, Vincent Wankwo, among others, thanked Chief Ezue for remembering them and prayed for God's protection and blessings on him as they affirmed that he has given them means of livelihood. In their separate interviews, the traditional ruler of Ofuma, Igwe Sylvester Uchiime, that of Nanka, Igwe Godwin Ezilo, and Igwe Mike Ofo Mberedogu of Enugu Iyi, Oji River, Enugu State, described culture as people's identity and encouraged Ndibo to hold their culture in high esteem as they are divinely blessed with admirable and attractive cultural heritage. A friend to Chief Ezue's family, Mr. Abuchinwozo of the ABS, lauded the benefactor for such humanitarian service, which he observed will help in taking the youths off the streets. Others who spoke at the event, including the President General of the community, Professor Sunday Obikeze, the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Community Liaison, Mr. Chukwuemeka Egwonwu, Parish Priest of St. Michael's Catholic Church, Awa, Reverend Father Lawrence Onwaso, Chiefs Ernest Okafo, Geoffrey Okeke, Donatus Nwafo, Innocent Ezue, Mrs. Caroline Iloha, among others, applauded Chief Ezue for positively transforming the lives of the people in the area through the scheme and called on Ndi Igbo to always promote their culture and tradition irrespective of where they are residing. The event featured masquerade display, cultural dance, and cutting of the new yam by the traditional Prime Minister, Chief Ezue. From Awa in Olumba North local government area, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
The member representing Anambra East constituency in the State House of Assembly, Honorable Obinne Meneke, has built an Etremedin market stores for Iwariam community in Anambra East local government area. The 24 stores sited at Iwariam market has been inaugurated for use by the people. House of Assembly correspondent Chukwema Kamodelim was there and now reports.
While inaugurating the project, the Commissioner for Housing and Urban Development, Mr. Emeka Ezenwanne, commended Honorable Emeneka for executing such magnificent edifice that would enhance the socio-economic activities of the community. Mr. Ezenwanne called on the people to always identify with leaders who have their interests at heart in order to continue to enjoy dividends of democracy.
I call him a model politician, and every politician that want to be successful is supposed to learn from this. It's supposed to be about service to the people. It's not supposed to be about selfish interest and stuff. So I'm very glad that we still have politicians that are doing the right thing.
Addressing the people, the benefactor, Honorable Emeneka, described the project as a response to the people's request, adding that his constituents will continue to enjoy the dividends of democracy from him as long as he represents them at the State House of Assembly. The lawmaker told the gathering that the 24 market stores is a continuation of what he did at a Wariam settlement where he sunk borehole for the community.
What we're also doing is in line with the policy of Governor Willie Obiano, who is committed to the development of Anambra State, especially the communities, because we believe that one person or the government must not do everything alone.
In his speech, the traditional ruler of Iwariam, Igwe Kelly Nzekwe, stated that the people of Anambra East constituency made the right choice in Chief Emeneka, evidenced by the lofty projects he has executed in the area. Igwe Nzekwe used the opportunity to openly support Chief Emeneka for another term in office. The President General, Iwariam Progressive Union, Chief Jude Ikechukwu, noted that Honorable Emeneka has left his footprints on the sands of time by constructing an ultra-modern stores for his people. Later, some of the market women sang songs of joy, expressing their gratitude to the lawmaker for his kind gesture. From Iwariam, Chukwemeka Modelem, ABS News.
A fuel-loading tanker exploded this morning beside the office of Department of State Security Services, DSS, and Ojo Barracks on Lagos-Badagry Expressway. According to the report, the incident, the Vanguard learned that the tanker fell as a result of the collapsed state of the road and spilled its contents on the road. The impact of the fall resulted in the explosion. In the process, other vehicles caught fire. An eyewitness said that no fewer than 8 vehicles were consumed by the inferno, while an unspecified number of people who were trapped in their cars were burnt to death. Some people who jumped out of their vehicles on sensing danger sustained various degrees of injuries. A woman who jumped out of a moving commercial vehicle at the scene was seen crawling in the mud and was mistaken for a mad woman by a large crowd of sympathizers who had gathered. The accident increased traffic gridlock on the road as commuters going to Mile 2 were seen taking Teddy Road as an alternative route. And now business news. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria has compiled a list of all products manufactured locally and is set to present it to the federal government to serve as a guide for government's procurement activities. The president, MAN, Mr. Ahmed Mansour, made this known during the 2018 annual general meeting of the association with the theme mainstreaming industrial policies to crystallize industrial renaissance. In addition to the list of the locally manufactured goods, the federal government will also be given a compendium of all the manufacturers in the country. Mansour uploaded the Executive Order 003, which aims to increase the level of patronage of made-in-Nigerian goods by public procurement agencies, saying that the policy showed that the present administration was serious in building local productive capacity. The MAN president reiterated his commitment to strengthening the association's level of collaboration and interaction with the federal government to ensure full implementation of the policy and to boost local patronage of made-in-Nigerian products. He said MAN will continue to engage all the ministries, departments and agencies to showcase made-in-Nigerian goods. Still on the news this night, youth have been urged to embrace agriculture to contribute to the drive towards food security. The Principal Secretary to the Governor, Sir William Okoye, made this call during 2018 annual New Yam Festival of Omobia community in Oka South local government area. Correspondent Ogochukwu Okeke was there and now reports.
Speaking at the event, which took place at Okpaligwe Square, Oka, Sir Willie called on traditional rulers and presidents general of various communities to provide access to enough fertile land that will enhance large-scale farming to increase productivity.
Communities need obodo niile and they celebrate New Yam. Ka amal ni wo mini na eniji obodo wale symbolically must, for the thing to make meaning and make sense, must come from their own handiwork, from their own farming. Undumari bido kopiva the agricultural revolution started by this government.
In an interview, the state head of service, Barrister Harry Odo, said that Iwaji is very significant in the lives of Ndibo.
In celebrating this, we also try to remember our kinsmen in the northern senatorial zone who are being submerged by flood. It's a very serious calamity. Whoever has the opportunity to go there and assist should do so. We render the support we can, and we urge every Anambra person who has capacity to go there and assist them.
Also speaking, the chairman on the occasion, Chief Eddie Nwokoye, expressed gratitude to God for bumper harvest this year and explained that in the days of their forefathers, it was called Otite. But following the new trend, it is now Iwaji, which marks the beginning of harvesting and eating of new yam.
It is an annual event, a celebration of, rejoicing for end of farming season and the harvest, of farm produce, especially yam. Prior to this period, Anambra was celebrating Otite Festival. It is the same thing with what we are doing today.
The President General of Amoibia Town Union, Engineer Christopher Nwoye, in his speech, said the significance of New Yam Festival is to showcase the rich cultural heritage of the community and Ndibo in general, to encourage the younger generation to take pride in their cultural heritage.
We regarded the yam as the chief of all farm products. So whenever there is a harvest of yam, there is a ceremony like this to thank the God of yam, that is God of heaven, who gave them yam.
Also speaking, a former Director General of Standard Organization of Nigeria, Chief Ikemo Odumod, said that Iwaji Festival is a remarkable event that had existed for years, which serves as a moment of thanksgiving to God and prayed for peace and progress of the community. Cutting and distribution of roasted yam was the climax of the ceremony, while cultural dances and masquerade display added glamour to the occasion. From Amoibia in Oka South Council area, Ogochukwu Okeke reporting for ABS News.
And on the foreign scene, desperation is growing in the stricken Indonesia city of Palu as residents face the fifth day without adequate supplies of food and clean drinking water amid a sharp rise in the official death toll following devastating earthquake and tsunami. Indonesia's international disaster agency said the number of people killed in the disaster had risen to 1,234 today. The toll is expected to climb in the coming days as bodies continue to be retrieved from the rubble. The situation for many of those left alive is there as families scramble to get even the most basic of goods. Today, hundreds of people waited in line in the blazing sun, standing among the ruins and debris in the hope of obtaining a small amount of fuel. Battles lined up outside a petrol station in Palu, waiting to be filled with precious fuel. At the last working gas pump in town, crowds gathered around a single overworked attendant in his hand with a large wad of cash, almost too big to grip, the product of hours spent pumping fuel into portable cans. Money, though it's of little use when there is nothing left to buy. All normal services in the city have ceased to operate. Shops have either been destroyed or left empty and food is scarce. An official from the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent described the situation on the ground as nightmarish. A full 5 days on from the first tsunami waves crashing into the city, bodies of victims remained unburied on the side of the roads. In a public cemetery on the outskirts of the city, workers continue to dig a mass grave the size of a football pitch in an effort to bury as many bodies as quickly as possible. And now sports. Super Eagles technical advisor Gennett Rowe has invited Ahmed Musa and 23 other players for this month's double-take 2019 African Cup of Nations qualifying fixture against Libya's Mediterranean Knights. Super Eagles Arsenal FC of England forward Alex Iwobi will return alongside Italy-based duo William Ekong and Oluoluwa Aina. All three missed the 3-0 win over Seychelles in Mahil last month due to injury. Goalkeeper Ike Chukwuezengwa is the only home-based professional. China-based forward Odion Igalo and Russia-based defender Brian Idowu are also among the pack that have been called to hunt for the 6 maximum points against Group E leaders Libya in the matchday 3 and 4 games. Nigeria hosts the first leg at the Gassola Babio Stadium in Iyo on Saturday, 13th October, with the return scheduled for the 18,000 capacity Stade Taibe Mari in the city of Safs. Tunisia on Tuesday, 16 October, also back is winger Moses Simon and former junior international Isaac Success is called by Italy-based Simeon Nwankwo, who was in Seychelles and scored against Liberia in a friendly last month, is omitted. And that's it on the news. But before we go, a quick reminder that you can follow news and programs from any parts of the world by logging onto our website, www.absradiotv.com. You can also like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. And now the recap of our major stories. Governor Obiano has restated commitment to recognizing and honoring the Anambra who distinguished themselves in various fields. The governor, who's speaking at the unveiling of Anambra Compendium in Awka. Archbishop Okeke has donated relief materials to people affected by flood in Onitsha. Another tanker has exploded in Lagos. Death toll has risen in Indonesia's earthquake. That's the size of our package tonight. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Chidimma Oranwa. Have a good night rest.